Everybody, here we are again, one more time for fun. If you don't find meditation to be fun, eventually you will, because I'm gonna keep saying that again and again through this life and through the next one. So we'll get there. Let me get reacquainted with this little thing. This one, correct? Okay. Because it's summer, and after the summer comes fall, I decided it's a perfect time for us to talk about preparing for the harvest. I love the theme of this meditation because it makes us go within ourselves. And once we can go within ourselves comfortably, it's a lot easier to manage life and the ones around us. So it's one of my favorite themes. And because I'm talking about it again and again, it's probably because I still have to learn it. So it keeps coming back to me. But I know I'm not alone. If I need some learning, the ones around me need some learning too. Because I learned that you attract people that are at the same vibe that you are. So if you guys are here with me, same vibe, same needs, same learning. So here we go. I chose, and by the way, I prepared this by myself. I repurposed a template that Valdo had used before, but it makes me feel wonderful, and I can make it happen for me, and I add all these pictures and I find them and I feel good. Thank you. When we do think about harvest, it makes us think of one of my favorite parables, which is the parable of the wheat and the tare. Why do we say wheat and tare instead of, or wheat and weed instead of the weed and the wheat? Because first came the seed that was pure and ready. The seed, the divine seed that was planted in us, which was simple and ignorant, but it was ready to flourish, to germinate, and become all good. So we were first the seed of wheat. Let's just not forget that. Wheat comes first. Weed is our own doing, which is okay. That's why we're here. We get the wheat from our God, who plants that, and we all know that our God never does anything by coincidence, just by chance. There is a purpose. So if he put this wheat seed in the soil, which is you and I, there is a reason for it. Because he believed we can grow the fruit of the good wheat, which is the love. And the potentially divine light that is inside us can grow to become, like he said, you can do as I do, or even more, much more than I do. So I'm going to just refresh the memory on the parable itself. So it says in Matthew 13, from the 24th to the 30th, it says, "The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field," representing here God, putting us, each one of us, as a seed. But then when he went to sleep, and we're going to get back to that later, somebody came and put the tare in there. When his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went away. But when the grain had sprouted and produced crop, then the tares also appeared. So the good seeds and the not so good seeds. So the servant asked the agriculture, the master, so what do you want us to do? Do you want us to go and take away the sprouting of the bad seeds, which is the tare? And before he asks, who did that? He says, the enemy did that. Who dare go into my field and do something like this? Well, the enemy did that. So shall we go and remove them? He goes, don't remove them. Let them grow together. Because when you try to remove the tare, you're going to chance uproot also the wheat, which is what we've planted and we labored over it. So we want it to grow together. And once it's a little taller and you can distinguish, and there comes the harvest time, collect all the tare in bundles to be burned, and collect all the wheat and bring it to my barn. So we're going to explore the symbolism of the parable, because like Jesus did then, we're going to have to do this to ourselves. It's hard for us to understand the big picture, so we use words that are relevant to that community. At that time in Galilee, what was relevant for them was planting, growing, harvesting. So Jesus spoke the language of the people. If we were speaking today, we would talk the language of internet. You do this, you folders on your Microsoft folders, we would talk that language. But because we're still using his teachings that will be forever valuable, we're going to continue to use the growing by planting, harvesting the seeds. So to connect the parable to Spiritism, like we always do, we're going to go to we're going to try two questions from the Spirits book. The question is 120. Do all spirits travel the road of evil to arrive at good? Are we all born evil and then we become good as we go? We know that that's not the truth. The road traveled is more like the one of unawareness rather than evilness. It's ignorance. We are born potentially good. It's a seed that if you water and put in the right soil, it's potentially good. We are ignorant, we are not aware, but there is no evil there. Remember, we are the wheat, the divine bread in a seed. We are ready to grow into becoming that. The evil is by choice. Ooh. Question number 121. How is that some spirits have traveled the road of righteous and others the road of evil? Continue that same thought process. Do they not have free will? God has not created bad spirits. They were all created simple and unaware, possessing all an equal aptitude for good or bad. Those who became bad become so at their own volition. It is kind of hard for us to have to say, you know what? It's all on me. I was given the perfect opportunity to do right, and if it goes wrong, it's my choice. It's what I am choosing to do, but the seed is neutral with potential for all the good. But if we want to add a little bit of evil there, it's not because we are bad. Because we are ignorant, we end up making bad choices. We are not bad per se. We are good making bad choices. We've heard before that the good is here and the evil is here. The evil is just as it was born just like the good, but it is now sick and it needs to heal to become good again. So these are the two questions that remind us we have the potential, but we don't have the mileage. It's like the kids, when you look at a little kid and you're trying to teach them something new, it's so obvious to you and I because we are adults, but for them, it's all new. They don't have enough mind, they haven't been there yet. So they don't have the experiences that we have. And then when our parents, who are 20, 25 years older than us, say something, they have even more mileage than we do. It might be different times and all, but they have more wisdom than we do. So we are ignorant, and as you get more experience, as you have more tricks in your bag, you can pull from and make better decisions as we go. So it's all about choices. Here is a picture of the wheat and the tare together. They are so similar that it's you and I, if we just walking, not attending to it very closely, we would not be able to say what is what. Is that what happened with us when we meet somebody we've never met before? Sometimes you get obsessed with somebody because that person is such a good person. Oh, I love the way she talks. She's such a nice, she loves everybody. Because you know that person in retail. The day you know that person in wholesale, it's a very different story. Because then you get to know the ins and outs, and we all have some stuff. We all have some, Yes. And is that a bad thing? We get disappointed? No. Just by going with the illusion that person is perfect is the illusion. Because again, if that person is hanging out with us at this level on this earth, they are kind of the same way we are, with lots to improve, a few great progress, but still lots to improve. So we are in this together. That's the simple answer for that. We're all in this together. So we all have a lot of wheat, and we have to be proud of our wheat inside us, but we also have some tare that needs to be addressed. And as I always say when we do this here, we never get out of here without strategies. So we will get some strategies before we go, because what's the point in us doing all this and not taking strategies home to address that? Strategy is part of the choices we're going to be making. This is a very big word. Transmutation, which is transubstantiation. What is that big word? It's to take something, take matter, and make that matter into something else. Transubstantiation, something go from water to wine. We hear that Jesus did that because he's here and we are way down there. Yes, we are different that way, but we are potentially divine. So if we keep on climbing that mountain, we will get there and we will be able to do that. We might not be able to do the transmutation, the transubstantiation like Jesus did, but within ourselves, there are a few of those mutations that we can do by working on it. So the purpose here when the parable says, let's not remove the tare, let's keep it growing with the wheat, because we are considering something else. Instead of pulling it all out and being mad at ourselves and feeling guilty and feeling less of because we have those poor inclinations, those shortcomings, those difficulties dealing with life, it's not a reason for us to pull all those or hide our limitations. Our goal is to look at them kindly, which is a very hard thing to do. To look at the things that we don't like about ourselves kindly, so we can go through transmutation and change what is not so good into something a little better, and a little better, and a little better. How is that done? You gotta love who you are and accept who you are. So once you can do that, it's a lot easier to go through the transformation. And because our God is so wonderful and so merciful towards us, He gives us filters of love to help us go through the transmutation. Examples. When you feel that life is no longer possible, you are at the bottom of the bottom and you feel like there is nowhere else to go. This one friend, this one family member, somebody comes to you and say sometimes 2 little words that click something inside you. Or a friend at work gives you a book, I saw this book, I thought you would like it. And that book tells you something you needed to hear. You come here and somebody gives that hug at the right moment that you just needed. Or your child gives you a grandchild and it changes something inside you. Or you who are lost get this child in your life, be it your student, be it your nephew, be it your own child. Things happen. There is that dog that appears in front of your house, and for some reason, that dog gives you all you needed. The filters of love that are given to us, they come in all shapes and forms, but we're always getting them. Do we always catch them? Do we always perceive and use the filters to our benefit? No. Why? Because sometimes we are distracted by the mundane. If there comes that book, or there comes that hug that was going to be yours, and you are not going to see it. We get so involved in our stuff. We miss those filters of love that are coming our way. If we can just remember that, and every now and then, you know what? Let me not do this. Let me just focus on the possibility of filters of love coming my way so I can get the transmutation, get the tear into a little more wheat in my field. That's the idea. So let's see how we can make it happen. The process. We human beings don't do anything unless there's something in it for us. Is there something in it for me? Is it worth my effort? If you see there's going to be no results, no big something for me, we don't do it. But once we say, you know what, I think it's worth going there because it will give me this, all these benefits. So we choose to go. Once we check that box, yes, I want that. Then we need to come up with strategies. Because if we don't have strategies, just wanting it is too vague. We don't get there. And once we have the strategies, we keep up with it. And once we keep up with it, we can go somewhere. So this is a little hard to see. So let me see if I can. First, everything you want to do, first is an intention. It's just that thought in your mind, maybe this can be, it's a possibility, it's a curiosity. And then you start taking action with a little bit of strategy, a little bit of discipline. And then you practice the discipline. You keep practicing it. And then consistency, the discipline keeps going. And then eventually it becomes a habit. When something becomes a habit, you change to a different phase, because now it's something that's going to be done so naturally, automatically, that it's going to become who you are. That's when people look at you and say, oh, so-and-so is always so happy, or so-and-so is always so calm, or so positive. It is who you are, with your ups and downs, of course, but it's more of that than not. You become more of that than not. For some of us who are Portuguese speakers as the primary language, the only way to become better at speaking English is by speaking it. We're going to make tons of mistakes. The prepositions are a killer. They are, oh, we tried this one, we tried that one, it doesn't always work, and we keep on trying. Eventually, it gets smoother. And then every single day, I learn a new word. And every single day, when I talk to somebody from a different field of work, I learn tons of different words. I've been here for 30 years, and every day I learn a new word. So it becomes who you are, a person who can speak English a little smoother. Same thing like any habit. A person who is more positive towards life, a person who is more aware of the surroundings, more aware of the needs of others. Everything is just through practice. Now, strategies. Let's start with them. Number one strategy for all the people who are interested in Spiritism. The more you read, the less you think you know, because there's way more to read, way more to be interpreted, to study. But the more you study, the more you can make connections with things that happen in your life. For those of us who are in the Spiritism vibe here, studying is a must. Because if we don't study, we don't grow with what's, again, that's a filter of love that was given to us. Let's use it, let's put it to good use. And prayer and meditation is aligning our thoughts with the things that are good, with all the good stuff. So we start with learning. The next thing is the thinking. So if my thinking is fed good things and things that align with what is positive, I'm at a different level now. And then choosing words and actions that impact positively in our environment. Our words impact the entire field of the ones around us. If you are driving and you stop in traffic and the car next to you has that very heavy rap with some not so good words, that changes your vibration. So you have to think those things, that the words that you use impact others. You cannot really control the guy that is playing that kind of music. I mean, I'm not against all kinds of music, whatever works for you. But the choice of words that are in different music will affect us differently. When we choose certain words that are not so clean, it's not because we are better than anybody that we're going to not choose those words. It's because the vibration of those words will affect you differently. And every time you choose kind words and words that impact positively, you change the magnetic field around the ones around you. So it's the ripple effect of the good. We might not be changing the whole world, but we can change the field around us. Every time you have a chance to choose a word that is super positive and a word that is not so positive, open the dictionary. There's plenty of options there to replace that word with so many other good ones. So just remember, good thoughts, good words. Then automatically this feels better. When what goes in here and what gets out of here is better, what stays in here is better. Because our goal, after the transmutation of our tare into more wheat, is to offer our God a whole bunch of wheat that comes from our field in our heart to go into his barn. Who doesn't want to fill up the barn of the Lord with a whole bunch of good wheat, with the seeds that can produce the bread that will feed our souls, our needs, and that as we feed our souls, we get to a better place. Maybe next time we come to visit this planet, our wheat is going to be greater than our tare. And every time we come, we have more wheat and less tare to deal with. But for now, because we are all in this together, we will look at our tare, our weeds, with kindness, acknowledging what they are, and we're going to shine the light with the filters of love that we know. And that way we can transmutate what is not so good inside us into something a little better. And every time we use that filter again and again and again, we'll get to a point where the barn of our Lord is going to be full because we are contributing to it. That is the goal. Are we getting there this week? Probably not. But can we at least make some dent on that purpose? A little bit, Patience, grasshopper, patience. We will be patient with our own needs, but we will strategize. And because we use strategies, I am going to talk a little bit about the strategy that most times get lost. If you have, let's say, you're feeling funny, you go to the doctor tells you got high blood pressure. None of us here, because we have such a well-balanced life that doesn't hit us. But if you know somebody that goes to the doctor and the doctor says, you have high blood pressure going on here, there are 3 things I need to do. You need to take this medication that I'm giving you. You need to exercise more and decrease your stress. Isn't that what we hear?
And less salt.
Yes. Okay, that's that too.
Because
Oh, you're there. Ooh, you're not alone. We're not alone. Look at all of us. We're all in this together. So if the doctor tells us that, and we feel a little alarmed, we will decrease the salt, right? We're a little alarmed. And we will take the medication. And in the beginning, we will go for that 2-mile walk. We will do that. But that thing about decreasing your stress is kind of foggy. What does that? It's very hard. It's very hard to qualify that. What do you mean by decrease your stress? You do try a few things. Well, maybe I need to just breathe deeper or get home earlier from work, not work so hard. But it's still very foggy. What we do is we keep the medication, and some days we even skip it. Oops, I forgot that yesterday. Oh, okay, I'll try it again today. The salt, just today, it's the weekend. My fries, just a little bit of salt, just today. The walking around 2 miles, not today, too hot. Oh, not today, too cold. Not today, rainy. No, that kind of stuff. We keep on going. But the stress management never gets addressed, because we are not trained to do that, and we don't have the right strategies to do that. So today, I'm not going to address the blood pressure medication. You address that with your doctor. I'm not going to address the physical activity. You address that with your coach, your trainer, your YouTube trainer, whoever you want to address it. Today, we're going to address stress management, because that's what we can do today. And if we can get that strategy going for us, we are ahead of the bigger game, because once you get that taken care of, you might feel more inclined to go for a walk. And you're going to feel more focus and not forget your medication. So even though we are not addressing those things, it might get there by default. Because once you are in a better place with yourself, considering your stress management, you are in a better place, period. So let's get ready for fun. Here we go. Before we close our eyes, I'm going to do something a little different today. I need to show you guys a strategy to get that. Since we are working on planting seeds tonight, we're going to work in expanding our field that's going to receive the seeds, which is our heart. For us to get the heart center activated and ready for the meditation, some of us can just put the hand here and feel it. Some of us, not so much. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it an extra sensory input. Warm up your hands. Really, really warm. Make it super warm. And then touch your heart. And take a deep breath. And again, a few times, And touch your heart. Take a deeper breath. This time, after you warm your heart, you can close your eyes and keep your hand there. Both hands, just one hand, one on the top of the other, whatever works for you. If you choose to close your eyes, do so. If you want to keep your eyes open, just look down a little. And take a deep breath, feeling the warmth covering your heart. Inhale. We're going to find the heart growing into the warmth of our hand. We're going to stay here for a minute, just expanding the chest and letting the heart grow. The field of energy is expanding, bringing warmth to the heart and dissipating it into a bigger field. With every breath, we fill the heart with warmth. With every exhale, we spread that warmth further around us. Inhale, exhale. The heart is warm. The body gets warmer with every exhalation. We stay here and we get comfortable with the ability to expand the warmth. Let your hand rise and the shoulders fall. Expand the rib cage. Exhale, pressing that belly button into the spine, letting the warmth grow wider. This is the field that is fertile, ready to receive the seeds that have the potential to be all good. The field grows. We find ourselves standing on a very large field of warm, dark soil that is ready to receive the seeds of love that God has reserved for us. We stand here and we look around. The fields extend vastly all around us. The warmth is still with you. The breath is still expanding and bringing warmth through your feet to touch the soil. As we stand, we feel the breeze touching our faces, touching our back. It's invigorating. And the warmth still sits within. A very light rain starts to come on your face, shoulders, legs, and feet. And the deep breath warms every drop of water that falls onto your skin. Drips down and is absorbed by the soil. The warmth that lives inside you touches the soil. We are ready, my Lord, to receive what you have reserved for us. We open our hands and we find seeds deposited in our hands. We take a deep breath and we start walking the field, spreading golden seeds all around us. The soft rain pushes them into the soil, and we still keep the warmth with the big inhale, and every exhale we send the warmth to the earth. All the seeds are planted. The soft rain covers all of them, and you stand tall, breathing deeply. All the warmth that is yours to keep. Exhaling all the warmth into the earth, so all the ones around us can benefit from it. Patiently we walk the fields. We start seeing little sprouts of green push through the soil. We keep on walking, and for a minute or two, we're gonna stay here watching our crop grow. It's your crop. Let it grow the way it suits you. Deep breaths. You can walk or you can stand. Deep breaths, pushing the warmth through your body onto the earth. And the crop is ready. We look around. We notice some of it is not golden like we had expected. Some of it is a little thorny, a little too stiff. We are puzzled, but we keep on walking, taking deep breaths. What if I could change the way the thorny ones, the stiff ones look? What if I could make some transmutation here? You look at that weed and kindly take a deep breath. Your warm hands touch the weed, and with all the love in your heart, you send the warmth of the divine that lives inside you towards that weed. and you watch it softly make little changes, unnoticeable at first. And with every breath, with every touch of warmth, it changes a little bit more. It almost looked like wheat. I might not get it done today, but we are making progress. I accept you, the weed that lives inside me. I accept the challenge of working towards giving you warmth, attention, discipline, consistency, until I can get in the habit of changing you into the field of wheat of my choice. Deeper breaths. And we walk the field. We notice other pieces of weed around. But for today, one is enough. I don't need to make all the changes in one day. I can make little progress every day. But today, I am grateful for the ability to pay attention to that one little weed that needed extra care in my field of wheat. We start walking, enjoying the vast field, taking deep breaths, re-energizing ourselves, grateful for the warmth that comes from up above, grateful for the breath that I can transform in energy of pure love so I can take care of my weeds. For today, this is enough. With a deep breath, I just find a place where I can sit and rest. For today, the work is done. We sit here and let the warmth cover our hearts. Our hand rises and falls. Deeper breaths. Deeper breaths. The breath is always here, available to us. The divine light is always here, protecting us. Whenever we feel overwhelmed, distraught, without any hope in our hearts, this is a place we can always revisit. We'll stay here for a moment. And when you feel ready, you can softly lower your gaze and slowly come up. We're going to stay here quietly, keeping that feeling of peace and connection until we're ready for the passes. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for taking this adventure with me. I hope you get a chance to revisit that whenever you feel the need to do so.